Most of you in this video probably enjoy doing things or learning things that make you feel better about yourself, like as a piano player or as a human being, make you feel like you're getting smarter, accomplishing new things. So in this video, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to show you a technique that you got to learn. You really need to work on and become good at, but it will make you feel like you are the worst pianist in the whole world for a little bit. I'm going to demonstrate a little of it for you first before I tell you what it is. Partially because if you want to have a little fun and guess what it is in the comments, you're welcome to do that. But more specifically, I want you to see how smooth it is and subtle it is unless someone points it out to you. So here is a little Beethoven. So what this mysterious technique is that I think so many people just completely pass up on because it confuses them and makes them feel bad about themselves when they first learn it, is simply finger switches. What a finger switch is when you play a note with any finger, then you trade off to a different finger while you're holding on to that note. And it seems so simple, but like I said, it will make you feel like a horrible person when you first learn it. If you don't know how to do it, you'll feel like you just don't know how to play piano. The idea is that if you play something like this, and you want to play a higher note but keep things legato, you can swap off what finger is holding down that note. So you could do this, switch off, you can switch off again. You can trade off which finger is holding down that note so you can keep it depressed. The note depressed, not you. And I chose to play this particular movement of Beethoven because it demonstrates the 2 times you need to learn how to do finger switches. Sometimes it is required, like you have to be able to do this from there to there, but you can't just hold the pedal down. If it was all legato and pedal, you could just do that. Pedal, move. But the left hand is staccato. It's short, light notes. So you can't make the pedal just blur it all together. So you have to. So you notice I'm playing this chord and then kind of crawling to the 2 finger. It's funny. I don't even know when I do finger switches. Like I'll try to tell students like when I do a finger switch and they'll say, oh, what note you do that on? I'll just be like, I don't remember. It just happens almost subconsciously when I run out of fingers. It's like if you play A with your 3 finger and I say to play G, you're not going to go, okay, that is this finger. But eventually just say, well, yeah, G's right there. F is right there. You don't think about it. Same thing in finger switches. I'm playing, I have one more note to go. I might just make that swap without thinking about it. So for example, in context, like where you're holding down like these 2 notes, like that, you could do it this way too. There's different ways to do it, but I might, without thinking about it, just go, I can do the finger switch, so why not? Now, our second big reason to work on finger switches is that it can solve or help you work around so many fingering problems. So for example, you could try to think of a perfect fingering for this measure, and then you have a jump to there. That works. It works. But you can also just do this, switch off. So really slowly, I have this chord, I have this A, I switch off. The 3 finger, it happens fast, plays this A. Then I immediately trade to the 4 finger holding that note because I want to play this. Now I have my next chord. See that swap? I swapped up this way. So I can be here. I can play this chord. I traded off both. I did a double finger switch. I played this swapped and swapped, and then that becomes really easy. So my point of making this video is to say finger switches are one of these essential things that if you start getting upper advanced, like playing hard pieces, you're going to have to do them because there's going to be contexts that you can't reach stuff. You don't have a choice but to finger switches. But even at any level you're at, if you are good at finger switches, it makes everything simpler because it just solves so many fingering problems. Like there are all these times I'm looking at books and I see a publisher, really smart publisher. Publishers are very smart, often pretty good at fingering, but they'll sometimes come up with this crazy solution where you're going to put your pinky down, then try to like cross your thumb under, and you're going to then like put this finger here, then to grip this, and this is going to have to put your 4 is going to have to go over this because the only way to get to there. And I'm thinking, it's not the only way to get to there. You can just swap off what finger's holding that and put that down. Then if you had to play a C next, instead of doing something, okay, we're going to go back to the beginning of this measure and rethink the entire measure. Why don't you just swap and go to C? Now, this is a lot harder than it sounds, because what ends up happening when you first learn it is it feels like you're adding extra notes because you're kind of switching off in the middle of a line. So you're like, it almost feels like you added notes in there. Here's a couple really simple exercises. One of them is to practice a finger switch for a scale. Like literally do a scale like this, just with 2 fingers, and practice switching every single note and then switching on the way down. You're going to play a note and then swap off. Real quick tip for all finger switches you do, try to get your finger switches done early, almost as soon as you can. It's a big mistake to do this and then go switch play and then switch play. It's really dangerous. And if you play your music that way, it's really dangerous as well to go and then switch. See that switch there? I played this and switched right away. As early as I can do the switch, I can. So same thing with this, practice doing this. And I switch at the very beginning. So I'm ready and waiting for the next note for as long as I can. You can practice this with a few different fingers. You can also trade off with like 1 and 3. You can really do any combination you want. Some are not going to come up as much, like thumb switching to 4 is not as common. Another really simple one is the notes in particular don't matter a lot, but pick 2 notes and just hold them. Doesn't matter what fingers you use. Then do something like play the C on top, swap, play the C on the bottom, play the C on top, play the C on bottom. Some of you are thinking, but you can reach that without finger switch. Yeah, I know it's an exercise. So you could, if you have to, because your hand's big enough, play the E, play a G, play an E. Just practice holding that center note. One final thought to reward you for watching the whole video is another idea of this finger switch. You can also get your best fingers onto notes. So times you're like, okay, I gotta reach and play this with my pinky. I can reach it, so I'll just do that. And you see a 5 finger on an important black key that's kind of hard to reach. There's no reason to play an important black key with your stupid little pinky finger. You can get your best fingers onto important notes. So another idea is you have a strong note that should be loud. You can do a finger switch to get really good fingers, as I miss it, really good fingers onto that note.